the book deals with short films, because I think that is an arena in which you can learn a lot about screenwriting quite quickly. If you get to work on a short film, if you make a short film, if you write and direct a short film, it's something manageable. It's something that you can do quite cheaply as well. You can get together with friends. So the short is in itself a unique genre. But mainly, of course, the book is focusing on the feature film. And the feature film is like the sonnet or 12-bar blues. It's a very particular artistic and crafted form that can be studied and learned. I think, you don't have to read a book, and you don't have to go to film school or do a screenwriting course to write a script or make films. But if you do, for most of us, we get better. If you do study, if you do collaborate, if you do have an exchange of ideas with other people, it's a very exciting way to develop as a human being and as an artist. It's not essential, but it's something very special to be enjoyed. And for most of us, it's a way of accelerating our growth and our development in our chosen craft. The short is usually best when it's a simple idea. You can often get as much emotional impact in a short film as you can in a feature. One scene comes from another. Everything has to be there for a good reason, a line of dialogue, an image. It's a very tightly 10 to 12 minutes. This is an account of a film in the book called Alumbramiento. It's a Spanish short film. This is from the book. The Spanish short film, and it embodies some of the things I've been talking about. The Spanish short film takes place late at night in the bedroom of an elderly woman who is dying. The conflict lies between the doctor's son's desire to keep her alive and his wife's recognition that it's time to help her die rather than to prolong her suffering. The film begins with a tiny flashing light in the dark that's revealed to be a mobile phone buzzing on a bedside table. A table lamp is switched on, illuminating a middle-aged man, Rafa, who sits on the edge of the bed, downcast and thoughtful. He replies to the call, "We're coming." Another bedside light is switched on. A woman, Sarah, sits up and asks, "How is she?" Now they're driving together through the night. Sarah looks concerned and scrutinizes her husband's face. She reaches out and touches his hand. "What else can I do?" he says resignedly, then pulls his hand away. We are in a darkened apartment now. An old woman, Maria, lies in bed in obvious distress. A nurse reports that Maria has been restless and in a lot of pain. She's close to the end. But another woman, Rafa's sister, intervenes. "She will make it. She always does." Sarah looks troubled. Rafa expertly fills a syringe with morphine to calm her suffering. Sarah looks on, increasingly disturbed by what is happening. Time passes. Maria is waking up, but in a delirium, in real distress and panic, struggling to breathe, crying for her mother. Sarah suddenly steps forward and sits by the side of Maria's bed. She cradles Maria's head and strokes her hair, then gently tells Maria that she is going to die. We see the uncertain reactions of Rafa and his sister, but they seem to realize that Sarah is doing what they are unable to do. It is time. Sarah tells Maria to be calm, that she will not suffer any more. She eases the respirator from Maria's face and talks to her about her long life, her children, how they laughed at her jokes, and how she sang to them when they were frightened at night. Maria is calm now and drifting away, the hint of a smile on her face. Rafa is sitting on the other side of the bed and starts to sing quietly, a children's lullaby that Maria may have sung to him as a child. That's it. Maria has stopped breathing. Sarah and Rafa look at each other. Sarah reaches out and puts her hand over Rafa's. This time, he does not take his hand away. Analysis. Sarah is the focus and protagonist of the story, but a relatively passive one, whose internal journey of concern for her husband, but more especially the suffering of her mother-in-law, finally breaks out into her intervention. The camera captures her thoughts, and through her eyes we gradually realise what is happening and what is at stake. The suffering of Maria and the doctor's son trying to prolong the life of his mother beyond reason. The tension caused by the rising concern of Sarah, the increasing distress of Maria, and the impotence of Rafa is released by Sarah's decision to intervene and ease Maria's passing. Other themes circulate: the medicalisation of death, the difficulty of letting go, and working out what the right thing is to do. The setup is delivered in short lines of dialogue that are also lines of action, pushing the story on. The dramatic questions that the audience will also seek answers to. How is she? What else can I do? The inciting incident is the phone call, and the move from Rafa and Sarah's house, the turning point that takes us into the middle of the film. The moment of final crises, when Maria is in extremis, turns the story to its climax. The structure of short films is often like this: a short, sharp setup, a long middle with a reversal, and a realization leading to a sudden end. And I'd just like to finish with a quote from a friend of mine, a very accomplished professional British screenwriter called Tony Grissoni. And he describes the process of screenwriting this way: when you write the film, you see in your mind, you hear the music cues, you visualize the camera moves. Be playful, be light on your feet, pretend the characters can't speak. Write a silent movie without exposition. Tell the story in pictures. Thank you.